Nå podcasten Vinpraten med vinofil i Piemonte. Vi har et voldsomt uvær utenfor, så vi skal sende noen fine bilder av hvordan det egentlig ser ut når ikke tåken henger tett i Piemonte. Men vi har besøk av søstrene, eller vi på besøk av søstrene, som har gjort braksuksess i Norge med sine viner. De gjør det godt med Barolo, de beste vinene her fra Piemonte. Og de gjør det godt med musserende vin, og det generelt kjempegode kjøp. And it's so nice to be here. We have a podcast. We promised to come here with motorbike. We did.
You did?
It's in the garage. And also we have, for the viewers, we have a secret guest. It's not a secret for many, but a Norwegian lover, your sister. So we have to start. And if you're going to say how much and describe your sister's influence here, because in Norway, when I talk about you two, I talk about one who is and one from inside. Is that true?
Yeah, that is absolutely true. I travel a lot, so thankfully there is Serena that holds the forts most of the days. So she's definitely the one that stays more home, follows more the winemaking, the agriculture all year long, and host guests whenever they come here. So she's the serious one while I go around and have dinners. She's home doing the tough job.
So now we have it on tape that you are the serious one.
Yes,
and we have
it's recorded. Yeah,
I will repeat it many times.
Yeah, okay. But we are saying now it's September 24.
Yes.
You are in the middle of harvesting or maybe ending?
No, more beginning, middle. Yeah.
And outside today it has been a cloudy, rainy weather, unexpected because it was waiting for sun today.
Yes.
So
exactly.
How is your approach to weather? Do you see all the times on the apps how it's going?
Yeah.
Because,
I would say that starting from August until November, it's like 10 times a day we are on the weather apps to check. But as you said, now it's always unexpected. And today we were expecting sun to harvest our dolcetto, and while we woke up and it was raining. So it's a little bit, disappointing because we have always to compromise with the weather and harvest time. But for now, it's okay. It's not. We are not worried for the qualities of the grape. It's just we have to wait to dry, to have some sun and proceed with the harvest.
But as today we call it in Norway a skur, which is just a little bit, but it's cloudy. The temperature is around 15 degrees, 17 degrees, and this condition means that the grapes are just there. It's not danger.
It's not dangerous in terms of quality. The only point is that we want to pick the grapes and bring them home when they're dry. The skin is dry, because if there is water on the skin or humidity, then of course it's gonna water down the wine. So we need to wait for them to be perfectly dry. But in terms of quality in general, it's not a problem because it's not a lot of rain. It's just a little bit of humidity. It's this kind of fog that gives a little bit of rain. But it's not too bad. So actually for Nebbiolo, of course being Nebbia the main part of the name, is very good. And it's very good when you start to have this shift between night and day. At night, now we're getting into 7-8 degrees. During the day, it goes up to 21, 22, which is ideal because at night you retain acidity, tannin, freshness, and during the day you develop aromatic, complexity, sugar. So it's perfect to keep a good balance for Barolo.
So, but the season of 24, I haven't seen any Insta or TikTok and so on. Discover, oh, it's hail and so on, but no hail this year, or so much.
Not
so much. No, last year there was a very bad one in summer, but this year thankfully we escaped it.
Yeah, this weekend is off because we are here.
Yes, good.
So there's no problem. But when you see now, we have talked in the last podcast, we talk about the approach to Norway and so on. Now I'm here, and it is some years ago I've been here, but it have been, the house have been, is just becoming the patina, I call it. No, what was it? In the first, the restaurant was not open, the patina of the use, but it's well maintained and so on. This have been a fantastic trip for you, this small winery, because this is not Hilton, this is not 45 rooms or 145, there you have 7 or
5.
Five, yeah. So it's a little house on the top of the hill.
That was our idea, our dream when we came here. Of course, the first years, talking back to 2007, we focused on the cellar and the winery and the vineyards because it was our passion and the first reason why we arrived here. But then after 7 or 8 years, we started to want to welcome people here. And so we started also with the hospitality. And then during COVID, where we all have more time to think, to take a coffee because the world just stopped, we said, okay, we want to increase the hospitality and to try to do the best that we can to host our friends and customers and so on. And so since last year we renew all the restaurant and rooms, and also with the cellar we try to have everything always nice and clean, and it's very important for us to...
No, my first impression was coming here wet.
Yeah.
Wow, this has changed. But the patina is just that it has been used, and then it's functional. It's not just design; it's functional. That's good to hear. But back to the season of 2024. What do you think? It's always good. It's coming. It's not disaster. It's not something else. But what do you think?
I think it has been a challenging vintage. We at first. It started with a good amount of rain that honestly on one hand was much needed because we came out of 22 and 23 that we had extreme drought, so we needed a good amount of rain. But then it kind of, as if it is normal today, it came all at once. In May, the last 3 weeks of May, we had the same amount of rain of all of 2023, and it came all together. And then it's during flowering for us. So it was a little bit sketchy because not many flower actually got into grapes. So that took down, I would say, at least 30 to 50% of the production in terms of quantity.
Wow.
So we're picking now, we already picked the Alta Langa, the Arnese, and we're picking the Dolcetto now. And that's more or less the result that we're getting in terms of quantities.
Yeah.
After that, though, it kind of went back into a good mood. June was good, still a little bit of rain, colder temperature. And then we had a good summer, but it was not as the past 2 years that it was 40 degrees for 3 months. We actually had a good warm weather for 6-7 weeks between July and August. And then again, as if it is now, it came down a little bit in temperature. So I need to say, all in, it was a balanced vintage, a little bit more back to the tradition, back to normal, not as hot and as dry as we've seen in the last decade, but definitely the rain and cold temperature in spring was a little bit. We had snow on April 25th.
Oh, okay.
So that plus all the rain was a little bit bad in terms of quantity. But after that, it kind of resumed to good weather. So
yeah, especially for the varieties that we harvest the first. So the Pinot Noir and Chardonnay for Alta Langa, the white berries and the Dolcetto as a red one. The flowering was not. Sometimes it didn't become fruit. And so we had less quantity, but it was okay because the quality then was perfect in summertime. We just had to select a little bit less the grape, and for the rain, as Joe was saying, in September we started to clean very well the grape layer on the plant, and now we are happy. Yeah.
And for the listeners and the viewers of this podcast today, this is how elegance is coming into the wine when you describe picking a grape in this matter and describing weather as a portrait of Mona Lisa. It's, it's passion. It's included in your life. You live with it. And for us who drink wine, you just make points and are a little bit flush with it. We describe elegance and so on. But often when I hear people describe, you didn't talk to us. You talk with yourself. It was and you discuss it all the time. So it was a stereo thing here. Yeah. But do you think that many winemakers in Piemonte, younger or the generation, lost that sensation of to be close? Because I met you, and of course it's nice and welcome, it's over. But this elegance, that especially the Barolo and so on, and we have friends who was here at lunch. They are I think they bought some wines also. Yeah. And we're gonna bring the Magnum. Yeah. We're gonna drive it back to Norway in the
motorcycle.
So that means that you're coming into hearts to people, but they don't know the work, because this is 24/7.
Yes.
When you go to Europe or you're traveling with your child, you have to plan everything in front, and then the nature is running you. Yeah. How is that like?
I think making wine is definitely a 24/7 job, and it's I would say that it's divided in three main work, which is the agriculture, the winemaking, and the sales, the traveling that put that in contact with people. But I think what I feel we're blessed to do is that wine is one of the few products of agriculture that are allowed to put yourself, your home, and your vision into a bottle, and then you take that bottle and bring it around the world and share it with people, and you're sharing your home. So as much as you are here today and you can see it with your eyes and taste it, but many people can't. So it's really unique for us to be able to put ourselves into a glass and bring it around the world. So I definitely think it's definitely a work of passion and love, and you are under the sky, so Mother Nature.
How do you feel success in that matter? I don't know if you care. I know that winemakers don't care about tasting notes. I don't know how it's described. So there's a big laugh sometimes. But points are something very important for sales, and they describe that it's more difficult to go from 92 to 94, 95, 96, and then it's easy to go to 88 and a smile and softly. Yeah. But is that I don't think it's a goal, but it's important to have proof that other, like me, who's following closely. Each time when I get a new wine, I taste it. I take it 3 days, taste it and so on again, and then I have my opinion how you work. And then I haven't been a wineyard. I haven't picked the grapes and so on. So, but is that kind of a success factor, or is that a meeting with day to day here?
No, that's 100% success, because it's kind of the cherry on top, is the recognition from other people. We taste our wine every day, and we have our own idea about it, and we have our own style. But to be able to bring it in front of other people and actually have them judge them and give us a score, or even just an opinion, a tasting note, it's really what makes you kind of say, okay, we did a good job.
Yeah, and if it's not like perfect opinion, it helps us to, of course, always focus on...
so long as it's constructed, it's good.
Exactly. Yes, always.
Because when I was introduced to Brandini, it was the acidity who struck me. And I said, I'm leaving for this to travel. What is this happening? It was just the wine of a rebel or something was coming, and then suddenly you were imported to Norway, and it was long after the success of Italy. It was long, and everyone think, and it smacked me. Early picking, high acidity, truthfully, and it's coming in with power in the Norwegian market, and blew away the wine journalists and so on. It's fantastic. But then when I was here, you see the underlying structure that is coming. And I write and tell people I meet is that if you see on the history of Piemonte and from a Norwegian point of view,
of course,
you can say that everyone who is reading about wine read other producers in paper, in books and so on. But the future are in social media and where people are known and tasted. That means that, like a good example in the middle here is Wagner, who lives close to Gaia, and they are famous and have lots of focus. but who makes the Barbaresco top? Yeah, one of them is Luca Rogna, designed by it, but it's coming up also with prices. And I describe Brandini, if you want, as something who could easily be in the top, but also are in the medium plus category, that premium level.
Yeah.
So I don't expect the volumes.
Yeah.
But how is the volumes today here? And where do you go with volumes? Where would you want to go?
I think volumes
we are
now.
there.
We're there.
We are there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how many liters is this?
We make more or less, depending on the vintage, between 180 and 200,000 bottles a year, divided in 12 different wines. So at the end, it's
Barolo
it's not that big, but it's our focus, because nowadays the most important part is that we follow all the farming directly, and that's the key point for us. So we don't want to get too much land, because that will mean give it to a third party, and it will not do the same job that we can do. And same with the winemaking, we pick every parcel separately, vinify it separately, and really focus every single fermentation. So we want to keep that focus on quality. And so, of course, quantity, it's pretty much we're at the perfect level where we can still follow everything and also have a good amount of wine to export.
Yeah.
But it means also that 12 wines are becoming more wines, but not more like liters, because you're going to be a single, you have found it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have a project going on with single wineries inside who's not for sale? I mean, wines who is made, but this could be your country or your, because I see the interest for separate wineries, and that if you're making X liters, but in 12 wines today, you can easily make less quantity of each and then sell it for more money, or because the Barolo and Barbaresco and wines and so on, they are coming to in 15 years. It's all about name. I mean, company name. It's all what you're believing. Have you identified the wineries who could be produce much better or alone, could stand alone? You're smiling.
No, I think that's kind of dreaming. So the problem a little bit with Barolo-viner is that even if we might consider some of them very unique and we would love to put our hands on it, has become pretty much prohibitive for someone that makes wine and only lives on wine to buy a new vineyard. Yeah. So there might be the chance to get some neighbor properties where we already have land, but really to put our hand on a new single vineyard, it's almost impossible.
No, but I mean the wineries you have today, inside there, they are gold in the mind. If you're finding your own single vineyards, describing it, this 400 plants are perfect. We make the only of this. Yeah. This is what I mean. Because if you are splitting up, like it's like Marcus Molitor in Germany, he have 104 different plots, and he makes 68 different wines. I mean, it's crazy. But this is a kind of demand and how you're building up the brand. Also depends what and how much work, because it's lots of work to and expensive. So
so we have, I think, two of our projects are a little bit like this. The first one is the single vineyard R56. Yes. Which is the vineyard Brandini, which is the vineyard that hugs our property here. It's home. Yeah. But we only select the top 10 rows on the top of the hill, so the higher altitude one, more exposed to the sun. Only the best 10 rows on top of the hill make the R56. Everything else goes into the La Morra, into the Barolo.
But the 56 is a good starting point.
Exactly.
Yes. So when the wines are getting older, you have more that kind of, could be that way.
Exactly.
Because if you don't want to expand, but it depends a little bit how the future. But I think I will follow you to
we'll see.
We are still young.
We are,
so
absolutely.
Yes. And but we have to drink some wine.
Yes, please.
And last talk we talk about grapes and what's coming up for Piemonte. Because for viewers and listeners of the podcast, Piemonte is red wine. It's a beautiful scenery, It's for Norwegian, we have fjords and high mountains and so on, but you have the passion, you have the long sight of things, you have the weather, and you have wine. We have akevitt and so on, so it's good.
That's good.
And cider. Yeah. but of course, it's a different atmosphere. If we come 15 minutes, 20 minutes late for appointment, that's normal. We are late, you know? So it's a different attitude to time.
For sure.
But also this means that when people are like, Piemonte is red wine, like Tuscany is red wine.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they are coming up the sparkling.
Yes.
It's so good. And we have last night and so on, and this focus here, and tonight will be focused a little bit of sparkling. What do you think will happen in 20 years' time? If you are saying 2013, when you started here, and then we take the future of this sparkling, because it's good price today.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's income. And if you go 10 years up, it's fantastic. But of course, it has to be now.
Yeah.
So if we start there, could this be much bigger than today?
Yes. I think that talking about quality and the project of Alta Langa, it should be way bigger than now. In terms of I think that we have a very good geographical area where we plant Pinot Noir and Chardonnay. We have a very good average quality products all around the Alta Langa producers, and now we have to bring this Alta Langa also outside from the, I would say, northwest of Italy. We have to spread the.
Yeah, you have to let people understand the Prosecco is not the prat, but it's new things coming in. You don't need to say it.
Yeah.
But it has to be something that in the books stands for Franciacorta.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But there are more. You know, it's more, and it's coming because of possibility around, as we discussed with climate.
Yes.
You can do much more afterwards and inwards with sparkling wine than the reds and whites.
Absolutely.
And as I see it, the price level is so good that you can invest quite easily.
Yeah.
But you were one of the first movers in this.
Yeah. But I need to say it has been beautiful to see this project grow this much. Yeah. And to answer your question, I think in the next 20 years it's going to be very big. Because when we started, the first vintage for us was 2014. We were more or less 15 producer of Alta Langa in general. With the vintage 2023, we're 67 producer.
Yeah.
So he went huge. We went from something like 250,000 bottles total to over 3 million, which is great because that means that we can finally have enough volume to bring it to the world and spread the word about Alta Langa. And the DOCG is extremely strict in terms of quality, the grape you can use, the amount of age you need to give it, where it's planted. So the quality stayed there, but quantity finally got a little bit bigger. So finally we can all, as a DOCG, go out and spread the word. And Norway has actually been one of the first market in Europe to really show interest. I know that there is a tender coming at the end of the year.
We heard about it.
And I think it's, as always, is pretty much ahead of times, and he has shown interest for this sparkling because I think it's something new and different. Price point is good because it's not champagne, but at the same time the quality it's up there. So it's.
But if you compare it to champagne, they are much better than the cheapest champagne. It's not so expensive. It's nice to introduce, and even for you, it's wow, this is fantastic because this is the first time somebody is moving.
Yes.
Because tradition is something who kills you. It is.
Yeah.
If you don't move,
you're
dead. Or if not, you're a myth, like contempt. You know, it's always someone who's not died who want to buy it. It's true.
Yes.
And that's what I mean when I'm going and find producer. I go for the acidity. I go for the concentration. I hear what people's voice, how they're talking. And Brandini is for me, and also when we talked and have talked many times about the sparkling, this is one of the must-have drink wine. You have to test it, as we do now, in big glasses.
Yes.
It's fantastic. But we're gonna have lunch. We're gonna have a talk outside the camera of all the rumors.
Yeah, some gossip.
Yes, some gossip. But we have to go to the one of the best Barolo who is in the Norway. You have set the standard for me and others. One of the reference, not always reference, because I mean it's much more to go. I mean much more to follow. That's have an experience over time. I don't have yet, but we see also that many other producers are keeping the price segment of Barolo low. That's a problem.
Yes.
Because it's too low, it's too high competition. So when you buy a Barolo from Brandini today, you will earn money. You will. Because you are forced to sell the wine in the price segment where, but it's coming. But the positive factor is that today vintage is 2019 in Norway, yeah. That vintage are matured in 2027 or 8. Yeah. It's on the top, I think. That means that if you buy the wine today, you are earning money until it's perfect. And then still you can store it for many, many years. And our friends who was on lunch last night, they're buying a Magnum, bringing it back to Norway on motorbikes.
That's the best investment.
Yeah.
Bigger size.
Yeah, I just asked them, why don't you leave it to us?
We'll bring it back.
Yeah. But do you think that, and now I come to the question, do you think young consumers and people who come to Piemonte as a travel destination and foodies and so on, and having pasta with truffle and life and Instagram and so on, do they understand the aging of Barolo? That how important it is? Because you have tasted old Barolos and how old it could be and tradition, all the fights so have been. But is Barolo misunderstood by younger people? Because of price, because it's easy entry level.
Exactly.
But it could be the double of some quality, and you have Barolo who is not well made today because they not invest. What do you think?
I think it depends on the family. Sometimes some of the younger customers are lucky enough to have a family in the back that hold on into older Barolo, so they've had the experience of trying Barolo that has actually aged properly. And I think once you taste that, it's difficult to go back. But definitely on the negative side, there is always the fact that now everyone wants everything soon, quick, and immediately I'm going to buy a bottle, drink it within 24 hours. And that's a little bit negative for us, but on the other end is what has pushed us to, in terms of style, be a little bit more on the elegant and approachable side, because we do recognize that not everyone now ages a bottle for 10 years. So it's good that we age it at least 1 year longer than usual in the cellar.
Yeah, so starting from the soil, we have elegance in our Barolo, and we decided not to work too much on it in the cellar, but to keep this elegance in the glass, because the taste of the younger consumers now is that one. And then the reason why now with Brandini Barolo is 2019 is for that, because we prefer to keep the Barolo maybe 1 year more or 2 years more in bottle in the cellar, and then to release it when it's perfect to be approached by.
But like the tannins here, they
are
the
19.
It's very smooth and so on. It's just looking for some meats. It's fantastic. But still, the misunderstanding, I say, that people in the market, they are buying newer Barolos, think that's normal, and then they have tannins by just and it's a misunderstood Barolo. But it is possible to do that in the winemaking, and that you are working with the tannins to get sooner, easier drink Barolo. But that have to come out of quality if you want to age it, because it's good for 7 years and then
I think it's a little bit of both. It really depends on climate, and that's something that has been changed in the last 10 years.
Last vintages.
Because very harsh tannin on Barolo were always the result of very cold vintages. So tannin that don't get ripe enough, and when you pick the grapes, they're so green that really need 20 years before they develop. while with the climate that we're having now, they're naturally a little bit more soft and ripe. But I do think, I agree with you, and I do think that Barolo needs a backbone. It needs structure, it needs tannin, and that leads to needing aging. So I do think it's still the best investment to buy a bottle like of 2019 and have it sit for a minute and wait until it gets to the perfect place. But I naturally think it needs that structure, it needs that backbone in order to be able to age for a couple of years.
Probably as producers, our job is also to not to release as soon as possible the new vintages in order not to scare customers that are not aware that Barolo should have structure and tannins, and maybe keep the bottles 6 or 8 months more in the cellar and wait and
take
release.
that.
To help. It's also our job to help the customers to understand the wine. And when you are in a rush and you want to release in January the new vintage, sometimes it's not ready because Barolo has structured, has tannins, and
I think we could sit here all day.
The
wines
much more wine.
much more wine. But the thing is, finally we meet your secret sister. She's alive. She's talking.
And she's the best one.
Yes, and talks. This is a small, short episode of the Brandini following. Next time when you arrive, we talk again, we taste. But for the viewers and listeners of the podcast, it's important to try your wines. Not only the Barolo, but all the range. And you will see that if you compare them at the same time, it's always fruit driven. The tannins are matured. The price is a bit low. But
we talk with the importer.
I think we have a call with Thomas. Or Marianne. But the main thing is that if you continue with that path, it will be also lots of new customers who will have. They are like my son. He's buying it because this is affordable for him. It's fantastic, and he knows that he can keep it for the seller for 10, 15 years. It's no problem. And then we have discovered meat to the food. So with that words, I will say thank you for this short thing.
Of course.
Thank you.
We're gonna have some lunch, and you are leaving for. This is Friday, so you have finally maybe time with your family.
Or with dolcetto grape.
We'll see what's the appointment.
So family,
or
grapes.
dolcetto
Grapes.
Okay.
It's easier.
Yes. So you have misters or lovers.
That's
the
grapes. The grapes.
The grapes.
Good. But thank you for the
Thank you.
So nice.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Grazie.
Skål.